Can I get in to get to that question?
Yeah. We have other questions?
We have a couple more coming.
Oh, you have a couple more coming. Perfect. Yeah.
So, if you weren't aware, no official informational or educational materials exist to explain interactions with law enforcement. Rights and responsibilities like comply, search rules, use of force rules, and others go undefined, and there's issues of confusion. So the same goes for interactions between people, situations like citizens arrest, other situations as well, who's in the right, who's in the wrong, that kind of thing. So language translations don't exist. There's no official translations. Neither states nor federal jurisdictions have translations. Not in Spanish, not in other languages, threshold languages for states. I think that most people, and what's being asked is, would you agree that lack of these informational updates and improvements is a barrier to equality, fairness, and inclusion in not only our justice system, but also our communities? Are you willing to look at options and draft legislation to bring these improvements to Congress?
Thank you. Okay. So I just want to make sure I have the question correctly. You're saying that right now, in terms of access to information to explain to people their rights as citizens when they interact with the police is only confined to English, and that's causing a lot of these issues. Is that right?
I need the mic back so everyone can hear. I'm sorry. So I'm saying that educational materials don't exist. So if you want to go and look and say, what is my right as far as the law goes, you can look at azleg.gov and go to statutes, Title 13, and look at this information. Same across the country.
I gotcha.
There's no official translations that exist, but moreover, there is no educational materials. There are no educational materials to say when an officer does this or that, this may be excessive, that may be excessive. To say that you have the right to refuse to answer certain questions. You have the responsibility to comply if an officer says stop. When these kids get shot, it's not always known that the situations that happen are going to result in that. And so what's being asked is, would you be willing to look at, I have a letter here, it's kind of a long letter.
It's okay.
But what's being asked is, would you be willing to look at drafting legislation to require, and this is in talks, I've been talking with state legislature, Judicial Committee, Walter Blackman, about getting some legislation passed that would require this state to create an educational program. What I would like to see is that at least a committee be put together, or you do a little bit of research to see if you could draft legislation.
So I will look at that. I know right now there are definitely some requirements. Anything that is written by the government has to be translated into at least Spanish, and then whatever language is the predominant minority language of the area. But we'll check to see if that's not happening, because it could, just because it's the law doesn't mean it happens, right?
Well, if you go to ushouse.code and look up federal codes, you don't see it translate this.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Let me go check on it, because if it's not, then we should make it happen. The other area that you were talking about in terms of education, so Reginald Boulding, the state representative for this area, passed a bill a couple years ago to teach students about police interactions, to start, so that way, especially in communities of color, especially young black men who have adverse police interactions, this is a good opportunity for them. This is why Reggie passed it, to actually have that. So there is something already on the books that's happening right now. But Reginald Boulding, yeah. And so there's more. Now, there's a lot more work too that can be done. So this is why we're supporting the George Floyd Act. It passed the House. It's died in the Senate. We're still going to be looking at more and more reforms. Obviously, there's clearly issues, and then and when it comes to citizens arrest, I mean, the days of citizens arrest, we just can't have anymore. When you have citizens arrest, if you see what happened in Georgia, that was quote unquote a citizens arrest. It's very dangerous. You have a right to defend yourself and your home without a doubt, right? Like, that's, no one's denying that. But a citizen's arrest it's in this day and age is very dangerous, and I just think that we need to move beyond that. I don't believe Arizona has that statute, but other places do. Next one.
But can I ask?
Yeah.
Can you get into the specific details of what is defined that regional bolding is?
No, you have to talk to. And I have more questions though.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
follow up with you.
Mr. Gallego, if you could hold on to that, I've handed it to your staff several times and I've never got a reply.
Oh well, no, it's better you hand it to my staff because I lose stuff all the time. So to be honest, but we will follow up. Yeah.
Question comes from Nicholas. In regard to water, I see you pushing for regulations on domestic use. Why aren't we focusing on agriculture and other uses? I can't read this, since we need far more water, I believe.
Yeah. So Nick or Nicholas?
Different one.
Nicholas. So two areas, right? So I've just introduced a bill 2 days ago with Senator Kelly to do more investment in smart water. So for example, and you guys all have seen it, right? You're driving down the street, you see a pipe break, and that takes forever for someone to go fix that pipe. So I want to, have the cities and counties and even rural areas invest in piping that will basically tell us when a pipe breaks, should we fix it right away, right? So that's example number one, and that's where we're making investment. In terms of domestic water use and international domestic water use, I kind of talked about this. There is what I would call water harvesting happening right now by big foreign corporations that are, I'll give you a good example. Down in Cochise County, a big Saudi Arabian corporation has bought up a big swath of land to plant hay for Arabian horses. They're grabbing that and then they're shipping it overseas, right? That is hay is very water intensive to begin with, and then by shipping it overseas, you're just